Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. Today we're making a recipe that I keep very close to my heart. This is a dish that hails from the beautiful city of Valencia, which happens to be where I was born. We're talking Spanish fried vegetable sandwich. This is known as un Pepito Valenciano. This sandwich is basically a baguette that you fill with a delicious filling of sauteed vegetables, tomato sauce and hard-boiled eggs. Then you coat the sandwich in egg wash, and finally fry it in extra virgin olive oil until it's golden fried. Folks, we're talking a ton of great flavors, simple everyday ingredients, and the best part, it's all done in about 30 minutes. This video is sponsored by Tienda.com. La Tienda is an online superstore focusing on selling all things Spain for your home and kitchen, and they've been around since 1996. And like I always tell you, they have the biggest selection of artisan Spanish ingredients like queso manchego, the famous jamón serrano and jamón ibérico, Marcona almonds, olives, the beautiful canned seafood from Spain, and all the basic pantry staples you need, such as extra virgin olive oil, which we're going to use in today's recipe, among so many other great ingredients. And let me tell you, when it comes to cookware, they have an amazing selection of authentic Spanish paella pans that range in size from 2 servings all the way up to 50 servings, and they even offer classic grilling systems. That way you can always perfectly cook your paella. Folks, visit Tienda.com, let them know Albert from Spain on a Fork sent you there. Make sure you use coupon code ONAFORK during checkout for 10% off your order. Alright, let's just dive right into this. I'm going to add in 2 eggs into a saucepan and fill it with some water, just enough to barely cover the eggs. And we'll heat it with a high heat. Once it comes to a boil, we'll place the lid on the saucepan and turn off the heat and leave our eggs to sit there for exactly 10 minutes to end up with perfectly hard-boiled eggs. In the meantime, let's start making our vegetable filling. I'm going to heat a large fry pan with a medium heat and add in a generous 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 35 milliliters. Important to use the good stuff here. This is what truly makes a difference. Leave where you get the Spanish one I'm using in the description box below. After a couple minutes, we'll add in 1 onion that's been finely chopped, along with 1 red and 1 green bell pepper that have been finely chopped as well, and 4 cloves of garlic that have been roughly chopped. And we'll mix the ingredients around, that way they're all coated in the olive oil. And as you know, I like to mix this around continuously, that way everything evenly sautés. After about 5 minutes, and the vegetables are lightly sautéed, I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is a little over 1 gram. And we'll give it a quick mix. And like I've told you in the past, when you're working with paprika in a hot pan, you want to mix it in there quickly, otherwise it can easily get a bitter flavor. Then we'll add in a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, which is 425 grams. This is similar to passata. And season everything with sea salt, freshly cracked black pepper, and just a kiss of white sugar to cut the acid from the tomatoes. And we'll give it a mix until it's well mixed together, and then lower the fire to a low heat. While the vegetables are simmering, let's move back to the eggs. After letting them sit there for exactly 10 minutes and they're perfectly hard-boiled, I'm going to transfer them into a bowl with some ice water. This is not only going to stop the eggs from cooking, but it's going to bring them to room temperature. Once the eggs are cool enough to handle, we'll peel the eggs. And then using a box grater, we'll finely shred them. If you don't have a box grater, you can just finely chop them. Then we'll move back to our simmering vegetables. Once the tomato sauce is slightly thickened, we'll turn off the heat, add in the shredded hard-boiled eggs, and we'll give it one final mix until it's well mixed together. And I tell you, there's also a version that includes canned tuna. I prefer it without the tuna. If you like that version, this would be the ideal time to add it. For the next step, let's start prepping the bread. For this recipe, I'm using small baguettes, but you can use whatever bread you like, as long as it has a hard shell and you can stuff it with the filling. I'm going to start by cutting off one of the ends from each baguette. You want to go about 1 inch, which is 2.5 centimeters. And then using a spoon, we'll gently remove some of the bread inside the baguette. And once again, remember to be gentle here, that way you don't break the shell apart. Then we'll stuff each baguette with our vegetable and egg mixture grab the pieces of bread that we cut off, turn them around, and push them into the hole of the sandwich. This is to ensure that the filling doesn't come out. Then we'll add in half a cup of milk into a bowl, which is 120 grams, and crack in 2 eggs into a separate bowl. Then we'll add in 1 tablespoon of chopped parsley over the eggs, which is about 4 grams, and season with a kiss of sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a whisk until it's well mixed together. Now before we start coating the sandwiches, let's start heating the oil. I'm going to heat a fry pan with a medium heat and add in half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is 120 milliliters. Once again, important to use the good stuff here is what truly makes a difference. You can get the Spanish one I'm using in the description box below. While the oil is heating, we'll start coating the sandwiches. First you want to go into the milk and then into the egg wash. And you want to make sure at each stage that they're fully coated all around. Then we'll add the coated sandwiches into the hot fry pan. And you want to make sure to cook this in batches to not overcrowd the pan. And go for about 2 minutes per side here or until the sandwiches are golden fried. And as you finish each batch, transfer the sandwiches into a dish with some paper towels. Once all the sandwiches have been fried up, this is ready to go. And I tell you, you can serve these warm or even at room temperature. Either way, check it out. Our Spanish fried vegetable sandwiches are done. Easy to make, simple everyday ingredients, and all done in about 30 minutes. Let's give these a try and see how they turned out. Once again, folks, un Pepito Valenciano. You know what, this is unfair. Today, you guys take the first bite. Seriously, can't wait to try this. Here we go. This sandwich is out of this world delicious. Another recipe where it lessons more in the simple things are the best things. Because we've got such basic ingredients, we got so much goodness out of this. That filling has so many different layers of flavors to it. With the vegetables and the hard-boiled eggs really shining through, and that bread with that crust on the outside taking this to the next level. Give this sandwich a try at home, next to a handful of chips and a couple ice cold beers. You have yourself the best moment of your day. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Kevin, Krista Rakic, Robert Manahan, and Sam Cohen. And guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. Enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. Then we can get notified every time I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego.